organized by Research Foundation of India and associated with Bhagwan Parshuram Institute of Technology, sponsored by HERF, Edu Academic Research Guide Association, and WFST. I am Nikita Khandelwala. I heartily welcomes you all in this program. So today, Dr. Deepak Agarwal sir is here with us to guide all of us. But before we start with our session, I would like to share you something about Research Foundation of India. Research Foundation of India is concerned with improving the educational process by encouraging scholarly inquiry related to education and evaluation, and by promoting the dissemination and practical application of research results. Research Foundation of India is working for research and development for higher education. This foundation was known by the Foundation for Research. We conduct in-house activities such as workshops, training programs, conference, etc., and engage in outreach activities such as publication of journal, books, and etc. The main mission of Research Foundation of India is to educate and promote the use of research to improve education and serve the good. So with this, now Dr. Deepak Agarwal sir is here with all of us. But before we again start with our session, I would like to speak something about the achievement journey of our today's subject expert.
Allow me to introduce myself. Nikita ma'am.
Hello.
Yeah, allow me to introduce myself.
Am I not audible, sir?
I'm saying that allow me to introduce myself.
Okay, sir. Sure, you can. Please,
Yeah,
please.
very good evening to all of you. Once again, I welcome on the behalf of the RFI board on this workshop, 3 days NEP based workshop. I am director in the Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management Indore campus, and this institute has been established under the leadership of the chairman Anil Shastri ji. He is the son of Lal Bahadur Shastri ji, second Prime Minister of India. Just let me brief introduce. I'm a doctorate in management with published 49 research papers. The research is my key area of interest. I've conducted a number of workshops related to the same topic. I've been a trainer to the FDP and conducted many of the FDPs and MDPs related to the personality developments and various other areas. My basic area of work is related with the finance. So this is all brief about me. And let us start with the today's presentation. I am sharing my PPT. In case if it is not viewable, please let me know. Can you see my PPT on the screen?
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay. This is the first slide. And this one is the second slide. Can you see it, both of it simultaneously?
No, sir.
Second slide is viewable to your screen?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyhow, no problem.
Now it's visible.
Yeah, now it's in the... So, the topic of the today's session is a part of the exploring dynamics of the National Education Policy 2020 with reference to NEC perspective. We all are aware that very soon the NEC is coming up with a new proposal related to towards the assessment. The criteria we are expecting to be merged, and the new format will be coming to us very soon. But till then, it's refreshing ourselves with the existing criteria. So among the various criteria, we are having a discussion on the criteria 3, that is research, innovation, consultancy, and extension. I'm sorry that old date has been shown on your screen. Please let me correct. It's better to remove all of these things. Anyway, these are the some of the topics which we are going to cover, and that is some of the facts and figures related to research, where India stands all about related to the world. Then a brief introduction related to the criteria 3 and the subdivisions of the criteria 3.1 to 3.7. And at the end, there will are the references from where the information is been collected. So, as we all are aware that research is the most important area for an academician, and into the existing scenario, the importance of the research has been increasing day by day. Even the approving authority like AICT or the UGC, they have focused much more on the research. And research here does not mean simply copying, pasting the content from the various sources and getting a paper published to your own name. No. Here research means that should be voluntarily contributing towards the development of the society. So when we will go with the next two slides, we will know about the various research proposals which are being submitted or awarded. But a new concept has also been initiated by many of the leading universities of India, including private sector universities, in which as a consortium, the teachers and the students, they both work together on a common topic. The benefit that students are also literate enough, they get the adequate knowledge about it. The benefit to the teacher, they can come up with their own ideas which can be really implemented. And thirdly, that is definitely valuable and beneficial to the society as well as the country. Now, whenever if you have something innovative idea in your mind, definitely there are the various things which are being included in the NEC criteria 3. Now, in short, in a brief, as you can say, that whenever some good idea generates to your mind, you can get your idea patented. Now, even if you have done something good, you can apply for the copyright. The Indian government website has been there, so at least you can apply over there, receive the certificate of application, and just wait for the query to which can be raised in the near future by the applicant authority, by the approving authority. So this is how, being a teacher, we might be learned or we are learning, and at the second side, we are also making our students capable enough to go through that. So just moving to the some of the facts and figures through this table, if we compare the worldwide investment made in the research and development, India falls far behind. The gross expenditure on R&D in India, although, is constantly increasing since the past couple of years. As compared to the data, we can see that the investment is been doubled from 61,000 crores or 60,000 crores in the year 2010-11 to rupees 127 crores in the year 2021. So almost the investment has been doubled in the research and development. If we assume that China is the most developed country, why they are? Because they spend heavily on the research. The next slide will show you how much they spend on it. The maximum investment in research comes from the Japan, because they always come with they believe in the innovativeness. But China has beaten all of them. And whatever we say that China is copying the products, they are manufacturing the duplicate products, that doesn't make any difference. Ultimately, they have applied their own brain in the field of research to develop the innovative products. Just like in today's newspaper, I was just going through. So China is testing a jumping robot, or I can say that a walking robot on the China Wall, the Great China Wall, and just testing out that how this robot performs at uneven surface. So did we plan something like that in India? Probably the answer is no. But still, at least some investment level is being increased, and definitely we are very curious to know about that which sector invest in the more. Being an educationist, we assume that maximum come investments come from the education sector. Okay. So let us go through the brief about this slide. It was very, very low to 40,000 crores in the year 95-96, which gradually peaked in the year 2009 and 10. And again, it reduces and falling down to the year 2021. So, but after 2021, there is a slight increase, particularly when we are talking in the electronic segment. In the past financial year, government has provided the various facilities and investment opportunities in research and development. If we talk about the sectorial investment, then pharmaceutical sector is the one of the most invested sector in India. So this indicates the importance of research. And research, once again, I am telling you, does not means getting credentials to your own account just for the sake of academic requirement, but it should be really helpful and contribute to the towards the development of the society. Now, as per the data published in the year 2020, the research contribution made by the three broad sectors,
Good
that
evening,
is the
sir.
government, business associates, and higher education sector. So if we go through,
Excuse me. Good evening, sir.
yeah, good evening.
Sir, put it in on slide mode, slideshow mode, PPT.
When I put it on the slideshow mode, it normally, just like I have changed, used to change the page, it's not updated on your screen. So what is in there, I am writing back and again moving to the next slide. If it
So,
is viewable, then
sir,
go
I,
ahead.
sir, I have joined so many sessions of yours, but sometimes it may be possible that we are busy in the college work, so it is unable to show in YouTube later. The main issue is this.
Okay. Hey, just like I changed the slide, is it viewable to you? I have
Yes,
changed
sir,
the slide.
but very small icons.
No, what I
Fine,
am
sir.
saying you, did you find it the next slide after this graphic slide? I am the slides mode. No?
Fine, sir.
Rather than discussion, let us move ahead with our presentation. In case if required, you can, I will provide you the separate PPT
Just a
if you are
second.
having difficulty in viewing through the YouTube. So, what I've been talking upon, just if we go through the data or the investment made in India, approx 50% of the investment in India comes from the government sector. So still in India, the government is contributing a lot. Then approx 41% of the investments come from the business entities. So that makes 91% from the government and the business sector. And hardly 9% comes from the higher education sector. So see, the contribution of the higher education sector is very, very low. Let us compare with some of the developed nations. Just take an example of Australia. Maximum investments come from the business enterprise, but at the second side, the education sector contributes 36%. Similarly, when we talk about the China, yes, the business sector is contributing the maximum, that is 77%, and hardly 8% is coming from the education sector. The countries like Mexico, where education sector promotes the maximum or contributes the maximum, followed by the South Africa. So you can see the status that even the developed nations, they are in the business sector is the most investing sector. But what actually they are doing, they are collaborating with the academic institutes, and the patent is in the hands of the business sector rather than the education sector. And that's why this rate is also higher in terms of the developed nations. Similarly, it definitely happens in India, but still we are far behind. Means higher education sector is still far behind as compared to the other countries. So you can further move ahead with the research on this data. I'm just sharing a few facts and figures in short, in brief. As seen in the table, that 0.64% of the GDP is being contributed in the form of research and development, whereas compared to the BRIC countries, the ratio is much higher. Like for example, Brazil 1.3%, Russian Federation 1%, China 2.4%, South Africa is 0.6%. Even the developed countries spend usually more than 2% of their GDP on R&D. So it is nowadays required that in order to get yourself developed, you should always, it is necessary to invest much more on the research and innovations. But the good thing, this Indian research output is the fourth highest worldwide. In terms of the worldwide, it is still fourth highest, and that is 1.3 million academic papers were published during 2017 to 2022. This figure has been increased as we get the latest data, but this is the updated data available to me. Now, as compared to the world leader China, that is 4.5 million papers, US 4.4 and UK is 1.4 million. So it is good thing that in terms of research publication, India is improving. We are at the fourth highest, and in the very near future, we are going to beat UK, and we will be the third highest publishers of the research paper in the worldwide. So we are in the right track, we can say. The importance of research has been increasing. The growth rate is of 54% as compared to 22% of the worldwide. And just I told you that we are going to suppress in the near future. Regarding the citations, I think everybody is very familiar with the citations. So India had generated 8.9 million citations, and which falls at the 9th rank in terms of the global ranking. So it is too good enough. As many citations, definitely there is as improvement in the H score and G score. So ultimately, citations creates the importance of the research publications, where China posts more than 5 times of the citations. Again, as compared to China, still we are 5 times behind. One more information has been published that India top 11 public and private institutes produced more than 1.5 lakh academic papers. So we have produced more than 1.50 lakh academic papers, but by whom? That is by the public and private institutes, combination of all them. So as compared to average of 1.4 million citations, we need to improve. So as such, going through these facts and figures, we can say that we are on the right track. So proceeding further, these are some of the common points which comes to our mind, that why the need of research paper arises. Number one, definitely being an academician, the objective is to increase or to enhance our knowledge. The knowledge, it may be related to the particular segment or the area of your own interest. Mainly when we talk about the country level or the national level, then education and health is they are the two prime sector on which the most of the research comes upon, and it is also equally important. Followed by the other sections, which includes basically development of the technology and other sectors. So to improve the knowledge, there is a need of research arises. Second is evidence. Why do we research? Number one, to provide the support to the theories which has been developed earlier, or even if you develop some theory, the previous research and your work can collaborate it and can provide a support to the theory which has been developed. So it can be a documentary proof. It may be a way to acceptance towards the theories which have been developed. Thirdly, it is helpful in decision making skills. Once again, when we are at the various levels of management, the research has been required in order to get the judgment, in order to get the appropriate decision makings. The decisions, number one, can be taken on the basis of your earlier experience. But nowadays, the youths are the entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs. The overall research experience may not be enough. So in that case, if they have gone through the similar type of studies, they can make the better decision. So it provides the identify the opportunities and challenges for better decision making. So research is also helpful in making the adequate decisions. This is what we usually do in the management and the commerce particular sector. Then learnings. Research can help building knowledge and facilitate learning. It provides more opportunity to a particular segment. It enhances our knowledge. Then hypothesis. Research involves testing, confirming, and rejecting the hypothesis. A question may come to your mind that development of hypothesis is mandatory in research, and the answer is no. It all depends upon your nature of the study. If it requires, then you can develop the hypothesis. If not so, then you can directly go and conduct the research. Just like in terms of literature review, there the hypothesis is not been required. Next read is the data. Research can help to present accurate and reliable data. It provides the support. The data is the I can say back related work which provides the support or back support to your work. It provides the authentication. Okay, whatever has been done, it is based on this data. So there are various statistical tools which can identify the reliability of the data, and with the reliability test after that you can conduct with the hypothesis testing. Another need is business success and the economy of the country's development. It is required. It provides the critical thinking and innovation, and at the same time it is also helpful towards the society, students, industry, and the nation. So these are the some of the points the research is been required. Let us move to the next slide. Now, in today's session, we are only focusing on the criteria 3. So there are 4 criteria which has been prescribed by the INAC. They are related with the circular aspects, teaching, learning, evaluation, research, innovation and extension, infrastructure and learning resources, student support and progression, governance, leadership and management, and finally the institution values and best practices. So the rest of the criteria will be discussed in your next sessions. I am focusing only the criteria 3. Now see upon the weightage. If we talk about the universities, they are assigned the maximum weightage of 200 points in terms of 1000 points, that is 25% weightage is given to the research and innovation in case of universities. You can see the different weightage to the different sections or the criteria. When talking about the autonomous colleges, the weightage is as compared to the universities is less because they may not be having the enough practices, particularly in terms of the labs, in terms of the financial supports, in terms of the grants, and in terms of the research facilities. So they have reduced this weightage, but still 150 has been assigned to them. And the affiliated colleges, the weight is been little bit further reduced to 110. So if we talk about the autonomous colleges, they have assigned 40 points more weightage to the research. So this is the various weightage assigned by the NAC committees towards the conduction of the research. Now what does criteria 3 includes? Criteria 3 basically deals with the informations related to the policies, practices, procedures, outcomes of the institution related to research, innovation, and extension. In simpler word, we can say criteria 3 deals with the policies, practice, and the outcome, real outcomes related to the research, innovation, and extension. The second point deals with academic research and innovation. It is towards the betterment. The why the academic research has been required. Criteria 3 discloses that it is helpful towards the betterment of the students, extension of the consultancy services, which can be the one of the revenue generator for the institution. In further slides, we will discuss that skill development does not falls under the criteria 3. Please memorize it. Skill development, almost all of the colleges or universities, they are having, they have skill development cell too. But that is comes under a different category. It is not under the criteria 3. But ultimately, when the research is being conducted even by the students, they can get the fruitful results. Consultancy by the academic institution can be a second option to generate the additional revenues. But from where we are going to get? The consultancy comes from the government sector as well as from the private sector. Once they are providing you this facility, definitely they expect the real outcomes. So whatever you do, whatever you conduct in your research, the outcome of those research must be beneficial to the consultancy services who you are providing this facility. So when we talk about the research, it can be another source of revenue generator to the institute. It deals with the facilities provided and efforts made by the institution to promote a research culture. So mainly if it talks about the IIMs, IITs, or the top business schools in the country, India, so they are working, they are getting a huge amount of grants related to the research. Consultancy, grants, they are the two major sources of financial aid to the education institute. The third element is extension. Extension of the institute towards society is an outreach towards the society stressing various real life problems. What is an extension? Extension is somewhat different as compared to the monetary terms. As a part of the social responsibility, just like the corporate sector used to spend 2% in the form of CSR, that is mandatory by the law. Similarly, it becomes our duty as an academic institute or being a fellow member of that institute to overcome the problems which be related with the society. Like you can arrange the blood donation camp, you can arrange the Nukkad Natak, you can conduct some of the campaigns, maybe related to literacy, maybe related to the commission, election commission, etc. So here, the monetary benefits are not expected, but the benefit towards the society is very, very important. Now, the criteria 3 has been subdivided into 7 broad categories. That is promotion of research and facilities, resource mobilization for research, innovation ecosystem, research publications and rewards, consultancy, extension activities, and collaboration with the other companies. It is equally required that in case if we have some facility, either we may be good in the infrastructure, we may be good in terms of technology, we may be good in terms of the human resource, or even we may be good in terms of the financial facilities. So we can make the collaboration with the corporates or any other HEI, that is higher education institutes. They both will be in the win-win situation. So that can also be done. You can see the weightage. In terms of universities, the research publication and rewards receive the highest weightage of 100 points out of 250. So you see that how much research publication is important. But what is actually happening? We all are very busy in our routine life. So we are unable to get the research paper or quality paper done. Finally, what we do? We, being a guide, usually heavily relying on the research scholar. We will ask him or her to develop a paper, and this paper must be published in the Scopus or ABDC or Web of Science or any other such type of international journals. Now, there is a cost involved in it. Who is responsible for it? This is what actual practice has been observed. This cost is being beared by the research scholar. Presently, I am coming out with many of the examples. Some reputed private universities are enforcing the research candidate, to get their paper published in the Scopus or ABDC journal. And if they are not publishing it, and that is on the cost of the scholar, they are not accepting those their thesis, and they are not approving it for the final viva. That is a bad thing. It should not be like that. If a faculty as a guide is working together, then they should also, if case there is some financial involvement has been there, they should share or bear that cost. When we talk about the autonomous colleges, again, it holds the second highest weightage. Now, autonomous colleges has been expected they should work towards the development of the society. So 50 points weightage has been given, where 30 points, second highest in terms of the research publication. Moving to affiliated colleges, they have classified into UG and PG category. When we're talking about the UG, again, extension activity is 60 points and publication is having 15 points. The average score, average has been expected under the by the UG colleges and the PG colleges. Similarly, the extension activity for private PG colleges is 50 points and research publications hold the 25 points, which is again second highest in this particular category. You can take the screenshot. So this is how the criteria 3 describes the various sections and the weightage assigned to them. You evaluate on the basis of your segment. If you belong to the university, this will be your weightage criteria for the various weightage. Yes. Coming to point number 1, sub-criteria 1, that is the promotion of research and facilities. The weightage is of 20 points for the universities and the 20 points for the affiliated colleges. Now, what is their job responsibility to be done? The role of the research cell or the institute's responsibility is to create the research involvement of the teachers and scholars through appropriate policies and practices. Again, I would like to quote my own example. Day before yesterday, we made a visit to one of the private university in Bhopal, and I'm very surprised to know they are really working a lot, which was being informed by us. They are working a lot on the research, and they are getting very good amount of grants from the government. They are working on solar projects, they are working on the air conditioning projects, they are working on the various electronic based gadgets projects, and many activities are in there. Even on the research projects, they are on agriculture research, they are working. So I just talked that what is the amount of grant you usually receive. So they says that is more than rupees 50 crore per annum. A private university, they are so focused upon the research, and I'm very surprised that this is how, but they are really contributing. So we need to check that how many patents they are having. Definitely they might be having a good amount of patents. Second, related to promotion of research and facilities, it is the responsibility of the institute to help in collaboration with other agencies, institutions, and the research bodies for sharing facilities and undertaking collaborative research. Just discuss. If you have manpower, make a collaborative effort with someone who is holding a technology. There may be 3 collaborations altogether that someone is holding the investments. So all of these 3 segments will provide you the actual outcomes, actual research outcomes. Next includes the department seeking recognition from the national and international agencies. This is also equally important, but when you want to conduct the research, please try to take the accreditation from the various bodies who can support you, who can fund you at the time of developing the research products. This is particularly very common in the pharmaceutical sector. Then faculty being encouraged to identify interdisciplinary research. They can work not only within their department, but as a member of the other departments too. This includes to ensure the implementation of the stated code for ethics for research. It means that they should strictly follow the code of conduct. And what is the code of conduct? Number 1, that is to overcome the plagiarism. There are specific limits prescribed by the authorities, and number 1, that they should try to control it so that your work must be look like, and that is the original work that falls under the category of code of ethics or code of conduct. It has been expected whomsoever the research has been conducting has been done by their own heart and by their own means. The promotion of research facilities also indicates that it becomes the responsibility of the university or the academic institutes to provide all the required necessary infrastructure facilities. We want to establish a training center. So what are the infrastructure facilities are required? Number 1 thing, that is to be identified. Secondly, how you are going to get the funds. So in that case, best option, either you develop the setup and apply for the fundings, or you can look after to some funding agencies which can provide you the funds in the initial stage. But that takes time. It's not so feasible to get those funds. Right? I'm not even talking about the seed financing over here. These are some of the problems which are faced in research. And number 1, that comes in the form of, for this criteria, that is criteria 3.1, that is the institutes have the limited infrastructure and the source of funding. Employees want to conduct the research, but they do not have the adequate facilities. When we approach to the management for the funds, the management push their hands up and say that we do not have any additional fundings. So it becomes really a very challenging that if even you are interested to conduct the research, but no facilities are being available. Thirdly, the research outcome must come in time. Take an example of this COVID 2019. There was a need of immediate solution to this problem. All the countries in the world, they somehow were working to overcome this problem. But who succeeded? Even China failed. So India succeeded a lot. USA, Germany, and few more countries who have succeeded by their original research. But India is the most beneficial of it from all of them. So time is equally important. You are conducting the research for many of the years and the old data is having no use to us. Then lack of motivation and guidance. This research is not like that you started and just within a few days you will get the outcome. It may take many of the days or maybe even months. So once you are in the similar business, people will start criticizing you. Management will say we have invested a huge amount on you and we are not getting an outcome. So ultimately it requires the positive motivation. Then is lack of practical approach. This is 90% I agree, but those who are learned people, they can conduct the research in the better manner. Quite obvious, the NEP 2020 talks about the research. We have a Viva in NEP 2020. But you just tell me, how many of them are really interested to conduct the research from the very first semester? Or maybe at the end of the second semester? Somebody would like to answer? How many are interested? Someone, please. Did anyone talk to their UG students? Okay, let us do some conduct some research which is helpful to the society. Anyone
Yes,
can
sir.
absolutely answer, please.
Yes, sir. We have tried so many times, but as you are aware about that, due to some management issues, revenue generating more and more to see the admission, so it is not practically possible to pay attention at the time of Viva for research.
Quite true, sir. And presently, what we can do, just at the same time, we should I try to identify the funding agencies and don't just look over for the big type of research, means many lakhs or crores of rupees. You can initiate with the small funds, small projects, maybe 10,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees, 20,000 rupees, and involving the students in that may overcome, because UG students, they are too enthusiastic. At the second side, they are raw enough. I do agree with you, sir. So ultimately, it's our role and responsibility as a teacher, as a mentor, that we must coordinate with them and try to make them develop skilled. So once they are at the final, this is a finalization, sorry, at the end of the UG program, definitely they can do. And as per the NEP now, particularly in MP, this is the 4th year. So still we people are in dilemma, but let us see how we can proceed, because the 4th year, only those students will be promoted who are interested in conducting the research. So it is expected, as per this criteria, that these students are really going to conduct the research. Rather than just asking what is research definition to the student in the Viva, we should try to ask them to submit a report, ask them that have they finalized and filed the patent for their work, and if it is awarded, then they should definitely be appreciated. So this lacuna is always been found in this system, but we hope that in the near future it may improve. Next problem in research, that is the research ecosystem, is the most of the educational institutes system which helps to promote the research activities, motivation, fundings, coordination, commencement, learnings, all these things are required. But we have not human resources to work upon. So what we can do, we can send our HR, our human resource, to some other institute where they can help them to train, and they will return back with that. So these are some of the identified problems in the criteria 3.1. Let us
Sir,
move. Yeah.
sir, one question is this: is there any definition mentioned to get the reward?
To my knowledge is no. I can recheck and let you confirm.
Yes, sir. No, sir, I mean to say that best paper award reward, that is enough. And
Nahi,
which type of rewards are included for that?
y- yes, that comes in my
Institutions are requiring to us that you should have
see,
reward. But what are
yeah.
the definition of reward? They have not mentioned for
Nahi,
that.
yeah, that is not defined in the by NAC, but it can be decided by the institute. Just I would like to quote the example of my own institute where I am being working. It's a Delhi-based association. So if the faculty published their paper in ABDC journals,
Yes, sir.
so they are providing the reward up to rupees 2 lakhs. And quite obvious, the paper published in ABDC is having a higher position, higher rank. It is equivalent to filing a patent. So they are rewarded. This is how they are being done. Secondly, they have a criteria that we suppose it has been published in UGC Care Journal. So they used to provide a reward of rupees 5,000 or 10,000, something depend upon the quality.
Hmm.
So such type of systems are being applicable. We are also providing. But yes, the answer for the students, no such definite policy has been there because the outcome, because the learnings from the student side is not coming up. So what we need to do as an academician, as a institutional head, it's become our responsibility to approach the students, to motivate them through the teachers to develop the joint papers. Whatever reward is being given, a certain proportion must be transferred to the students. So this can be done, and I hope that many of the universities may be following this criteria, private universities or the big institutes.
Sir, if a person will do the any work in social life and will get the reward, it will be countable or not?
It all depends. If it comes under the criteria, it is countable. See, we have last two slides for 3.6, 3.7, and that there this point will be covered over there. They have defined that what are the things to be included and what are not to be. So I will again discuss this point at that side.
Thanks. Thank
Resource mobilization for research. Again, we are talking about the financial support. So when we talk about the support, they have classified into three broad categories. To conduct a research, three elements are required. Number one is the financial support. Without that, we can't move a single step ahead. Second is the academic excellence. We need the quality work. For that, we need the experienced person in that particular segment. And third, most important, is the human resource and the motivation for them. So amongst them, the criteria 3.2 further discuss upon the research mobilization for research. They have weightage of 20 for universities, for academic institutes 10, and for UG and PG, they have provided the 15 points. So let us further discuss why it has been required. So definitely, just we know that without funds, nothing has been possible. So in that case, just like one of the director of technical strategy from USA, she says that organizations are not entitled to support. This is her statement. But what then we should do if they are not supporting us? She says that we must earn it. So in case if we are not getting any financial support from the organization, we should try to identify the means to get the fund. What the people from the IMs and ITs they are doing, they are looking for the funding agencies. No doubt they have a brand name. They have a brand tag with them. So they will always grab with the huge or the big projects in their hands. But if the similar type of proposal is been submitted to the state governments or maybe to the local corporations, that is also been acceptable. Just like in Mayor of Indore City, they provide such type of facilities. And many funds, many institutions, they are being benefited by their project fundings. Resource mobilization includes the activity in securing new and additional resource for the organization. And they are been basically classified into 5 broad categories. So for which purpose we need the funds? Number one, that is the acquisition of material. And here material means both current and non-current. That means acquisition of the fixed assets and the non-current assets. For that, we needed the funds. I will quote one more example. This just came to my mind. There is one of the sister concern in Manda, that is in district Allahabad, or we should say Prayagraj nowadays. Before last month, we made a visit. We are having a program over there. It was their inauguration of the Shastriji's statue. So this place is 80 kilometers from Prayagraj, and it's at the end point. It's very, very inside, approx 20 kilometers inside the main highway. After that, to the next 40 kilometers, there is nothing. Not a single human being you will find. And there this institute has been established. It was all under the wish of Shastriji, and that's why, and Mrs. Shastri, she actually established that institute long back, I think 1960s or 65. So what we have seen, the students in the ITI programs, they typically belongs to the remote area. They are not having any remote facilities. They are not having any funds available. Institute is self-funded. It's very clearly mentioned by the organization. But in spite of that, we were very surprised to know that they have developed the beautiful projects. It was been highly appraised by all the BOG members and the invited chief guests, and they are highly appreciated. Just I would like to quote one example. The one of the student, as an individual, he developed a project through from the water. Sorry, yeah, through from the water, the student is developing or at least getting the bifurcating the hydrogen and oxide into two different elements. This hydrogen, whatever the technical name has been there, he run that hydrogen this two-wheeler engine. That was a demo model only. He run that engine, but there is the only factor element that he is unable to store that hydrogen to the large extent so that it can be run for 15-20 minutes or maybe for 30 minutes. We discussed what is the basic problem, and here the problem is related with the resource mobilization. So various recommendations and suggestions was been given to the principal, to that fellow. So ultimately, material, acquisition of material, they have a beautiful mind, beautiful brain that we have been, this fellow was been awarded, no doubt about it. But at the second side, the such type of institutions really requires the support. Second, research funds requirement that is related with the human resource. We need a technical hands. Trained or skilled people are being required for it. Third is the moral resource. Ultimately, moral support is being required. Whatever, sometimes failure is a part of the success. And many times whenever you are working, it may be fail. So 99 times if we fail, one time we may succeed. And this is why the moral support is being equally important. Cultural resources. Cultural factor, where you belong to, what your society expect, how you will work upon, this all comes under this criteria. And finally, the socio-organization resource means the importance of the organization and the society. Combinedly, what they are providing, that is equally helpful. So when we talk about the resource mobilization, what we can do, just look over to those companies who are ready to spend in their CSR activities. As per the Indian Act, Indian Corporate Act, it is mandatory to spend 2% of their turnover, not profit, 2% of their turnover into the CSR activities. All the listed companies need to spend amount it. Suppose if there is having a turnover of 500 crores, see how much amount they need to spend. Try to grab such type of companies. We have identified one or two such type of companies, and we are in the negotiation stage. So this is how if we receive the support from them, we will get some good amount of fundings from them. So it will be the very first step, crucial step that we have managed with the financial resources. Rest of the resource normally an organization does have or possesses. So what we can do, just I have already discussed, try to approach to the government to receive the grants. Government is been all type of government, non-government agencies, and just like maybe at national level, state level, regional level, rural level, there are the various agencies, government agencies, they may provide grants for this particular work. Then you can also mobilize the funds, just like sharing ratio between the institutes and the teacher. Just like what we have seen in IIMs, they are having a certain percentage of ratio. Suppose, for example, 60% will be paid to the teacher and their staff members who have been working on the conducting the research, and 40% will be kept by the institutes. So the ratio can be fixed up between the institute and as an expert, and this is how this is a win-win situation. The teacher is also motivated, and institute also gets some revenue generation. Percentage of department having research projects funded by the government and non-government agencies. Similarly, just we talk about the government universities, a specific amount of fund is been sanctioned to each and every department for research. Now you need to identify if you are part of that system, just go and discuss with your head that how much fund is available to our department, and from that you just try to develop a proposal and get the funds from those departments. Next, what we can do, we can have a joint ventures between, just told, like to the industry and the academic institute, or to the various academic institutes, or it can be any other mode. So a joint venture can be a successful mode of getting the funds. So these are the some of the tools from where the funds can be arranged. Third point, that is 3.3, innovation ecosystem. Innovation. 30 points for universities, 10 points affiliated institutes, and it is not applicable for undergraduate institutes, but for postgraduate there is a 10 points. So what is the innovative ecosystem? Is ultimately a network of people, resource, and work together to create new products, ideas, and ways of life. It is divided into three broad categories or the components. Number one, the population of the ecosystem has both driven the development of and is the result of the ecosystem. So they are, number one, talking about the population of the ecosystem, which are to be directly or indirectly involved in it. The location and the environment where the ecosystem exists. You need to respect your demographic conditions. So your system will affect it accordingly. Third component is the interdependency, interaction, and symbiosis amongst population member of the ecosystem. What does it include? It includes the corporate sector, research institutes, entrepreneurs, corporations, that means corporate bodies, investors, and the government. Basically, they are the stakeholders. So in order to develop an innovation ecosystem, we should try to incorporate all of these factors. Combinedly, they will provide you a healthy environment where you can conduct the research in a better manner. You are in a need of lab and it is not available. So we can approach to the company which is having the lab. You can put a request that we want to use your lab. If possible, we will pay for you, or otherwise you provide as a part of the CSR activity. This is how the things can be done. The ecosystem can be established with the help of the incubation center. Even you agree with me that AICT is constantly trying to promote on the ISC, Institution Innovation Cell. Regularly, they are asking for the updates. Regularly, they are demanding for the quarterly reports. And most of you are already included in that system. So ultimately, the government was expectation that we should try to promote the research, actual research, and the research can come up with the incubation center. So again, the incubation system center requires certain funds. So first of all, who are the different stakeholders? Whatever you generates, whatever you innovates will be sellable to the entrepreneur. So this is the very first, this is the one of the stakeholder. Secondly, we need a person who can invest and bear the risk, that is the investors. They can be in the various forms. There can be seed capital, there can be startup, and there can be boot funding, and many of the types of things are there. Then their corporates people are there. They are experienced people. They are having the huge financial base, database, and they can support to that extent. Then government is always there, along with take the help of the universities. Yes, can you excuse me for 2 minutes? I'm just joining you. Please excuse me. Yeah, sorry for interruption. Let me continue. So, this is the one of the chart provided by the uh, Daniel Isenberg, Professor Harvard School. So they have developed a similar type of model. Let us proceed. Again, it is not necessarily required that you need to develop the incubation center in your own lab or in your own institute. If you do it, it is quite well and good. Particularly when we are talking in terms of the science, definitely it is always there. But when we're talking about the management science, the approach is somewhat different. So, what we can do, you can establish an incubation center in villages. Now, objectives, the benefits to support the ideas of villagers with the help to nourish these ideas into effective action plan. They are the people who must be maximum benefited. They are the people who are having good ideas, innovativeness, but they do not have the approach to transform those ideas. So it can be a good platform to yourself, your institute, that you go to the village and develop a system over there. There is specific weightage assigned to this to provide required support at any point of time. Definitely, it's required that you must support them to share the same vision in peer to become an entrepreneur. Ultimately, we should try to promote them to be an entrepreneur. Like you have seen that jute bags are being prepared by the village ladies, females particularly, or they are manufacturing the paper bags. And these are been sellable in the market at a certain price. Even the big hotels, even the big this apparel houses, they purchase such type of things. So they are eco-friendly, and at the second side, they are the source of revenue, a support system to those females who are living in the rural area. It will transform the rural students into the young entrepreneurs. This would be an added point that once they are acquainted with such type of system, definitely these things may be transferred to the from rural to the urban area, and it can be a good source of revenue generation. Students with innovative ideas and opportunity to become entrepreneurs produce sustainable products for rural areas. So the students who are developing such type of innovative ideas, definitely they can help in the growing of the rural sector. Just like what example I have quoted you, that fellow has bifurcated the hydrogen and oxide differently. That is really that is a flammable gas. He is shown a demo for it, and he has made a backup that in case if catches fire, so how it will be automatically put off. So this is basically a patented idea. At a very small level, he has developed, but it can develop. If it has been properly patented, he may earn lakhs and lakhs of rupees. So see where this idea comes from. It comes from the rural sector only. Ultimately, very remote area. So this is how we can try to locate. We should try to enter in the remote area and develop the incubation center over there. It can be the good source of the revenue generation, not only for them, but to the institute also. How to establish, create an environment, innovation environment. You can conduct the various sessions, ask your teachers, your fellow colleagues to have an interactive session, brainstorming, ask the students to make the presentation on their ideas, write them in the form of report, submit the report, get patented, apply for copyright. This can be done. Then provide opportunities to all of them. There should be an autonomy amongst them so that they can freely come up with their thoughts. Also try to protect the idea. Otherwise, it's very common that if idea has been supported or provided by the student, it has been copied by a teacher, and ultimately they patented and the student is not been beneficiated. This should not be there. Then also try to establish the network between the various organizations. Try to locate it on the same work, same topic, same idea. Some another institutions are working or not. Encourage diversity, differentiation, and correlate for all of them. Focus on goal-based learning, goal-based thinking, and goal-based outcomes. These are the important elements. And you need to define a strategy how this work must be fulfilled in the definite time duration. So this is for the criteria 3.4. Moving to the next one, that is criteria 3.3. The next one is 3.4, research publication and rewards. Here what some points we were discussing earlier. So 100 points for universities, 30 points for the affiliated institutes, academic institute, 15 for UG and 25 for PG. Publication, highest weightage by the university, because they expect that the universities have enough resources to provide such type of facilities. For example, like if I want to go with a licensed plagiarism checker, I am not having that software. I inquired to acquire that software, and the Turnitin cost was rupees 22 lakhs plus GST. I think 26, 27 lakhs cost has been there. So that is not possible for a normal institutions to purchase it. Then what we will do? Ultimately, we will go with some free versions available or try to approach to some another institute or the university who are having that software. But when we're talking in terms of university level, they have such type of facilities, and that's why they have put a highest weightage in terms of research publications and rewards. What are the items to be included in it? Number one, that is the ethics of publication. Whenever you want to try to submit your paper, the ethics of submission are already been defined. There are the certain guidelines which are been defined in it. You need to go through those guidelines. You need to give the acceptance to those guidelines, and only then your paper will be accepted for the review, not for publication. Even that, you can form a committee to to conduct the ethics or ethics committee. They will conduct the research and try to locate that is there any flaws in it. In case if there is any drawback or a flaws, try to overcome. And if it is found that it is 100% copyrighted material, then it's better you reject this proposal and ask to come up with a new thing. Plagiarism check is one of the way you have already gone through in many of the sessions. Then research, you can form a research advisory committee. So a research advisory committee, RAC, basically objective is to promote research, to guide for research, and as such every university have this committee. Code of ethics we have already discussed. Then incentives for teachers. The university must provide some guidelines towards the incentive to the teachers related to the research publication. For that, you need to check your own university that they are providing this facility or not. Because if you are publishing your paper in any of the foreign journal or presenting them, it's too costly. The cost may be in lakhs for publication. If you are going to present your paper over there, again it may be in lakhs. So university accepts such type of proposals, and the scholar is been funded by the university to make a presentation on such particular publications or submissions. Then you must fix, being a part of the system, the number of research papers must be fixed per teacher. At least it will helpful for the further growth, for their increment. Just like I have made a criteria that in my institute, we at least 2 papers must be published by each teacher in one semester, means 4 papers in a year. This is the minimum criteria we have fixed. So what will be there once they are going to work in this criteria? Gradually, they will develop the habit of writing research paper. And once they are in the system, we expect that the quality papers must come in the near future. Then publication includes the number of registered guides and as per the registered students for this research purpose. So this is not a big problem. University, they used to have the definite number of guides. They can appoint more number of guides in case of demand increases in the stipulated time. So these are the basic elements which includes in the 3.4 related to publications and rewards. So coming to the consultancy, consultancy means that source of additional generation and where you are not getting the exact remuneration which you are been looking for. But anyhow, it can include both of the things. So under consultancy, again 20 for university, 10 for academic institutions who are accredited, that 10 UG and PG, they have not included any points. It includes the drafting of the policies and implementation. Their practices means implementation. Reports related to the implementation and the outcomes. The facilities related to consultancies and effort put over there. These are the some of the points which are to be included under the criteria 3.5 related to consultancy. The last element of criteria 3 is extension activity. What is extension activity? Any activity which has been done other than the objective or the financial interest to the organization comes under the extension activities. The objective is to create social awareness amongst the students by providing opportunities to work with people so that they can correlate the society to the institute. And at the same time, it is helpful in the community or communal development. It further explains, elaborates that it is the moral responsibility of the teachers to provide the students the all-round development under which they have to conduct some extra and co-curricular activities. So this comes under the category of extension activities. You need to provide that how many activities you have conducted during a period, and all of the things must be backed with the documentation work. This is, you need to memorize it. If you have done but no documentation work has been there, then it is of no use. So everything should be well documented, and the day when this event occurs, you ask them to document on the same day or maybe on the next day, because you will get a weightage of all this. Now, all these extension activities should be planned initially to engage the students, teachers, and the staff. But this extension activities does not include any activities which have been performed in the form of NSS activities. So NSS activities will be performed, will be considered differently, and NSS activities conducted towards the social or communal development comes in the form of extension activities. So please don't merge these activities. It includes the information on the policies, practice, and outcome of the institution concerning research, innovation, and extension. The institution has the responsibility to enable faculty to undertake research projects useful to the society. At least take one project by yourself towards the communal development. We are having 2 batches coming from our head institute to Indore, and for the rural immersion program, they made it 3 credit course compulsory. A private university can do, but otherwise in case of affiliated universities, to the government. We can only submit a proposal to them. It may include. It's a good thing. The students are coming and staying in our campus. No extra facilities. As a normal, simple bed is been provided. Common toilet, common bathroom, common sharing. Everything has been there. And they need to work extensively in the field. They need to go to the rural area. They need to conduct research over there. Many surveys and many of the things have been there. So, okay, fine, it's a part as a 3 criteria, but till now it was considered as a part of an extension activity. Social responsibility is a part related to this particular criteria. Now, what can be included? The report must include the number of extension and outreach programs conducted in collaboration with industry, community, and NGO. Through NSS, NCC, Red Cross, other agencies like Rotary Club, Lions Club, UNO, World Bank, UNICEF, Greenpeace, etc. So if you yourself are not in a position to conduct the extension activities, you can take the support of the third-party agencies. But the detailed report must be available, specifying the number of students participated, the collaborative agency whom we work together, along with the proof of evidence that may be just like photographs, newspaper cuttings, or any other information related towards it. Then only you will get the benefit. Then furnish the total number of awards and recognitions received for this extension activity from the various government and government recognized agencies. Besides that, once you gather all of this information, this must be uploaded to the website of the NAC in the form of template, which must include the name of the activity, name of the award, name of the awarding government agency, and the year of award. This is how you need to maintain the data. Many of the things we are doing without any records, but now next time onwards, you maintain the record of each and everything. Blood donation camp is a very common activity. Almost all the institutes, they are engaged in such type of activities. Election awareness program. Then literacy, Prod Siksha, many of the things comes under this category. The criteria 3.7 further says discuss related with the collaborations. The weightage of 20 for all of the types of institutions. The range of activity may include like trainings, student exchange, faculty exchange, research sharing, exchange, etc. You have seen that university used to conduct the exchange programs. They have tie-up with some foreign university. AICT made a tie-up with Japan, Yokohama University. DAVV made a tie-up with this Manipur or maybe Assam, some university was been there, is there hopefully. So they can conduct the exchange program. Malaysia, we have a partner, academic associations, large academic associations are with Malaysian universities. They are the collaborations. Why this collaboration has been required? Ultimately, the both of the agencies will work together towards the development. There can be activities under the collaborative efforts. This can be just like managing discipline during festivals. Police Mitra. Then municipal corporation. They have done very well in with the help of the mayor and internship with mayor. Tree census, eco-friendly, Ganesh Visarjan activity, river cleanliness, road safety, week or maybe a regular activity. They can promote no vehicle day. They can come up with a helmet release, bicycle release. Such type of things can be done under the collaborative efforts. Further, they can have a promote with the government programs like voter awareness campaigns. This very widely we have all of done in the present because we have just finished off with the elections. Passport issuing hospitals. Sorry, it's passport issuing is support in that. Hospitals, they can ask to promote, support organ donation camps, emergency medical services, blood banks, blood donation camps, Paryavaran Sneha Sammelan, historical food cleanliness, orphanages, distribution of sweets, blankets to the poor people, orphanages, and financial supports, etc. So you can see that many of the activities comes under the collaborative efforts. It is not like that ki what to do and only 2 or 3 items are being included. Again, we need to maintain the record. It will be in the form of the list of activities performed during the period, consultancy policy of the college, revenue generated by the department if it has been there, then it must be followed by the MAU between the various agencies and list of activities conducted year-wise under the signed MOUs. So this is how the collaboration-based activities can be performed. So this is all from my side. These are the various criteria under category 3 related to the research, innovation, consultancies, and extension. So these are collaboration, these are extension activities, 2 slides on it. So in case if you have any queries, the session is open for it.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Sir, my question is this: that was the banner that new implementation of new education policy. So, sir, how we will prepare the course credit and how we design the course program
Actually,
for the implementation of the new as per the new education policy.
see,
That is the
one
main
of the
issues we are
thing
facing.
like just like if you are having autonomous system, just in case one example I call like PGDM institutes.
Yes, sir.
So in that case, these things are much easier to be incorporated. But once you are in the affiliated universities to the government, that is government affiliated university, the system becomes little bit more typical. It is a lengthy process. It took time to implement all those things. In that case, you can provide an additional in the form of a certificate program to them. Because we can't do it, can't be included in the mark sheet of the student. So a certificate can be provided. Autonomous institutes have these facilities. The private universities can include, they can modify their syllabus or it can be reviewed on the year basis and it can be included.
So, in private universities, what are the parameters to design the curriculum for that and allotted the credit for that?
Then extensively I need to work upon and I can provide you tomorrow or maybe I will directly communicate to you. You can note down my email. I will return back to you.
Yes, sir, sir, I have your email ID.
Yeah, I will show you. It's at the end of the slide. Just 1 minute.
So this is very challenging and difficult to allotted the new credit and new course design for them.
Yes, yes. Just like we are working in a management institute, now, so in PGDM, we have implemented it. But in the regular
Yes,
courses like the MBA, BBA, BCom, all these conventional courses, we
yes,
can't
sir.
do. We are helpless. So ultimately, we have approached to the university, affiliated university, that you please make a provision on it. But still, we are not successful. Hope that in the very near future, it will be there. But we are providing the certificates to them. Those students who are fulfilling and working on such type of criteria.
Yes, sir. Sir, one more
Fund,
question.
funds,
One, जी, sir, बोलिए.
yeah, funds is also a specific element. Just like if you want to motivate your employees and your
Yes, sir.
students, the fundings is equally important. The alternate is like that we should try to develop some alternate sources of funding from the agencies who are ready to support to us.
Sir, one more question is this that you are providing few directions in which area we have to work on for the consultancies. Consultancies to avail the consultancy is also very difficult for that because they are not providing too much time for faculties for expertise in finance in any field. and it is not easy to go in any industry and take the consultancy over there.
So it's a time consuming project. In that case, we can you can take the help of the experts who have already engaged in this business, but don't go with the brokerage system. That agency comes, okay, there is a one institutional agent, he will say, I will charge 5%, I will provide you the project, and you work upon it. That is a illegal way, no? Actually you should not go with that
So this
manner.
is the main issue in Delhi NCR. Everyone is working on for incentives.
No, it's everywhere. I think it's all. I've at least it's till the center India. This thing is available. You will find everywhere. I don't have no. I have no idea about South. But anyhow, doesn't matter. You take the help. You take the support. We are also working on the same tech. Our institute is not having such an expertness, so we are taking the help of those people who are expert in that particular area. We are developing ourselves. We ourselves are submitting the proposals. In case of any problems, any issues comes upon, we always try to communicate with the agency, with the providing agency. Just like skill development, lots of challenges are coming, but yes, we are working. We are trying to overcome those challenges.
So GST is also one of the issue over there, that they have generated the invoice and they told us that you will refund to us. So that is also the another issues.
There are the many of the minute issues, and that need to be sorted out one-to-one basis only. GST, though, ultimately, it is necessarily required to be paid.
Yes,
We
sir.
can't escape. Second problem is like that, we basically works under the criteria as a trust. As the formation is in the form of trust, all academic institutions. So they cannot claim for the GST. But if the private universities from the corporate sectors are being promoted, they can claim that GST. So whatever amount is being paid by us can't be claimed. That is ultimately there is an outflow of funds. So that we need to bear that cost. As always.
Yes.
Any other?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. My objective is simply to just provide you that how this type of activities can be included, not to get into the technical jargons, because everything is very clearly defined in the act and you can go through the NEP guidelines and everything is easily available. So this is somewhat differently I'm covering up all these topics.
Sir, but preparing and designing the curriculum is that not easy for the benefit of the students. And after that, Bloom taxonomy, we have to evaluate in every parameter.
Yes, yes. I told you, in that case, if you operate as a part of the private system or the autonomous system, you have easiness to include it. But if you operate in the part of the government system, then it's better you provide as a certificate course to them. This is the immediate solution, but otherwise you will need to propose to the university to modify their curriculum.
Yes.
Anyone else? This is my email, or you can even send it to the WhatsApp. So shall we put the to the end of this session, Madam Nikita ma'am?
Sir,
So you are requested to provide your WhatsApp number.
Deepak sir, thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much, sir. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
So thank you all participants.
Did you get on the screen? Okay,
No,
I'll
sir.
just put the in call message box. This is my number.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you all of you for being here, patiently listening to.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.